Greetings from your queen of Ooga Booga, that is. Hi, everybody. This is Sally Diane, back for another week in Donald Trump. And this week I'm going to do something a little bit different. We're so close to the election. I want to look at the Don in three different ways. First off, I want to just look at the election itself, and that'll be the top line. And then I want to look at the near future, and that's going to take us past the election and through the transition, either into the Biden administration, here's hoping, or the a second Trump administration. Oh my God, please no. I really see that Biden's going to win, and a lot of other readers do too. I am just afraid that I want him to win so badly that I can't see. So I will be nervous until the day that Biden wins, because I do see Biden winning in a landslide. I'm just worried that I'm seeing what I want to see there. But the cards have been pretty good telling me what's going on with the Don. So we'll look at during the election, his near future, and his distant future. Okay, so we'll look at, not distant like 5 years from now, but we'll look at, maybe the next week or so, then what comes over the next couple of months, and then what happens over the year. Okay, and so I will ask cards to tell me clearly and concisely, and in a way that I can understand, to tell me about Donald. Tell me about Donald in the short term, in the near future, and in the long term. Let's give the cards a little cut. And we start out with the baseline, if you will. And what you have in the baseline, the general direction that Trump is heading, you have the castle, you have the 10 of coins. So he's always going to have like a nice place to live. And you have the Fool, and the Fool, even though the Fool's aspect, and I think that talks about his election loss. The Fool is going toward the house. I really get this feeling off of the Trumps that even though he wants to win the White House, he likes the glory, he misses his previous life, and he really hates the job. So let's look at just the election. We've got what's going on inside his mind, and we have, getting a little on what's going on inside his mind. Like inside, he thinks that he is it. You've got the 9 of Cups, and the 9 of Cups is a card about self-satisfaction. And this is definitely him. He is somebody who likes to trumpet his own horn, and he's bragging about himself. But inside, you've got the Chariot reversed, and so within his own mind and within his heart, he knows this is not going well for him, and he's having a hard time keeping his control. But the only thing that keeps him calm is if he loses the election, he knows where he's going for home. And that makes me wonder a few things. So, this and this. Okay, so if we look, one of the things that frustrates the Don about this whole election cycle is all the things you're not supposed to do. You're supposed to wear a mask. You're not supposed to get up there and not tell your people to not wear a mask. He just feels like he's really being picked apart, put under a microscope, and he really, really hates it. But this one, the 7 of Swords, the 7 of Swords comes out for him as far as the final outcome of the election. And the 7 of Swords is ill aspected. So this does not go well for him. As much as he tries to steal it, and he does, he only manages to make himself look worse. It's not that he doesn't try and steal it, he just doesn't succeed. So this tells me he is not going to win the election. This card tells me he knows it. What I'm really wondering about is this idea of that in his heart of hearts, I'm going home. I have a home to go to. And it doesn't make sense to me, because if he loses the election, I can't see him being able to go anywhere in the United States. So let's look at the short term. Yeah, you've got the Magician and you've got the Page of Wands. So when I look at the Magician, this is somebody very powerful. This is somebody who can make things happen. And this, with a little effort. But, remotely, this guy's a puppet master. So I really think that he's got some help coming from maybe Putin, if not Putin, some other strong man like that. But he's got somebody who's stepping right forward and saying, here, I'll help you out of this. I'll help you escape. I'll help you get away. And he takes it. Right there, the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands, when I see the Page of Wands, he's kind of holding that stick, but he hasn't brought it up yet. He hasn't brought it into play yet. So he has options that he hasn't talked about. Like when he gets in front of his supporters and says, if I lose the election, I'm just going to have to leave the country. Well, guess what, folks? He already has a plan in mind to leave the country. And I think it's with Russia. Yeah, I do see him losing, and I do see it being, it's like a whole tower situation, and this is what happens to everybody around him, including the Republican Party. Everybody loses, everybody falls down, and yet Donald ends up with a brand new beginning. Well, everybody else is being knocked off their high horse. Everybody else is paying the price. He gets a new beginning. So let's look at the long term. Sorry, that was a mean laugh. I do see him in the long term. If we were going to fast forward, say about a year, he's in a position where he's celebrating, where he's saying, I'm glad I made this decision, this deal, this deal, this deal. So the Don is still the Don. And the Don still, it's not lost. I mean, he's got about 30%, a little bit over, but let's say around 30% or a third of the population of the U.S. that is firmly in his court. And guess what? Even after he loses, they are still on his side. And he is still talking to his 30%. But he's doing it remotely. I had to laugh here because he does have health problems. And the health problems, he has performance. He ends up suffering ED. That's what I know it's mean. I shouldn't have smiled at, but so here's like a year from now, people are still going to be fixing the mess that he made. You have the five of cups here. He's going to leave a real scorched earth here. After he loses, before he walks away, he is going to do everything he can to just make things hard on everybody that stays behind. But when I look at this, it may be the Ukraine, it may be somewhere Eastern European, but I just have a feeling that it is Russia, and that he is going to be in the arms of Mother Russia. And I look at this like right on top of the cups here, and the Russian flag has kind of like this two-headed griffin on top, and something about the shape of that reminds me of the two-headed griffin. But overall, Donald's going to lose, and he's going to leave the country. He's going to be okay. Him and Melania are going to do just fine. It's everybody else that's going to suffer. Interesting. So for the final word on the long term of Donald Trump, you get the Four of Wands, and the Four of Wands is kind of it's a wedding celebration. It's got the idea of the canopy and the community going together, but it really feels like kind of a celebration, a celebratory dance, So he's going to get away with everything. He is, not everybody else, but he is. And so he's doing a celebratory dance. And you have judgment. And with judgment, and the way I see this, is I look at this guy right here. The feeling that I get from this card is that once Donald leaves the country, he will never be back, and he will be hunted until his dying day. I really think that the Hague or something might get involved, but he finds himself a good sheltered place to live the remainder of his days. So next reading, we'll do a reading for the Trump children. But that is This Week in Trump, the long-term edition. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Remember to like, subscribe, tell all your friends. Anybody who's interested in a reading with me, just send us a private email at queenofoogaboga@gmail.com. And remember to tune in every Sunday night at 9 p.m. for our live broadcast for Psychic Sundays Live. That's 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And have a great week, everybody. Happy voting.